Welcome to the July 6th, 2021 episode of Reactive Consciousness, the in-depth podcast about what happened this week in our lives. I'm your host, vysethebold, and this is...
Lotus Prince.
And... no Dracologist.
That's true. He's conspicuously absent.
And no Facaphon.
That's true. He's conspicuously absent.
Yeah, woefully so. I miss those guys.
Whoa.
It's chilly in here. Well, literally chilly. My dog named Chili is right next to me.
Oh, it's chilly. Well, it's not chilly in here. It's chilly over there.
Yeah, like I said, in here.
Oh, yeah. Yes, over there, I see.
I didn't say over there. I said
you have
here.
said here, referring to me. It's supposed to be you.
Yes, I have a dog named Chili, and we do call her Chili Dog, and I have a cat named Pepper, and together they are...
Chili and Pepper.
Chili and Pepper from Battle Monsters.
Everyone loves Battle Monsters.
Chili Dog and Pepper Cat.
I beat that game on stream for some reason.
Good for you. I'm proud. I'm proud. Yeah, and I will apologize if you hear, some light slams in the air.
Yeah, same. Jeez.
This is, of course, the 4th of July of this recording, and hence why my dog is cowering.
Yeah,
right
it's
next
perfect
to me.
timing for people to bother the whole town with their noise in the middle of the night.
Like I said, I generally like fireworks, but not when my dog is terrified. She had a really when she was a puppy last year. She was only like 6 months old, I think, at the time, or close to that, maybe even 5 months. The neighbors were not safe with their fireworks, and it fell over, and it was a mortar. And it shot directly at our house, and it exploded right in front of my dog's face, and she has like PTSD from it. So, it's really bad. She actually wasn't bothered by fireworks before that, but now, of course, she's terrified of them for good reason. So,
Yep.
Yeah, it's really a shame. And I of course would rather her not be terrified.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I have to deal with, and lots of other people have other problems related to them. So I could see why people don't like them now.
Yeah, it's almost like loud explosions are scary.
Yeah, no, fair enough. All right, well, on with the show. I'm sure you don't want to hear about more dog talk, or maybe you do. Maybe you're dog people. I'm not sure. But, actually the first two are yours, Lotus, so I'll let you take it away. I mean, these
They're mine.
These were pretty awesome things, so...
Yeah. Well, I mean, one thing is, like awesome, but backhandedly so. So the very good news is that the PlayStation Store, the PlayStation 3's stores, and the PSP's store, and the Vita stuff, the PSP games and PS3 games, I think... Maybe it was just PS3. We're supposed to shut down digitally, like the PSP store, on July 2nd.
Yeah,
but...
I think everybody was supposed to assume that PSP games would be gone for good.
Yeah, like if you have a good PSP game that you want to buy but haven't yet, now's the time. But Sony announced on literally the last day that they're not going to cancel it. So, like, thanks for telling us earlier, Sony. But the good news is that we keep the store, after all, on PS3 and Vita. I don't think you can use an actual PSP to buy this stuff.
Honestly, PSP devices these days are kind of hard to even get onto Wi-Fi because they have, like, an old, decrepit form of Wi-Fi on them. So, like,
yeah, you have to use
I think the last time I tried to even get my PSP Go connected to my Wi-Fi, I couldn't because it was, like, too modern.
Yep.
You know, the bandwidth is a lot better, obviously, than when it came out. So, I think the Vita is the best place to the Vita and the PlayStation TV are the best places to play these games anyway. And the PS3 has access to even more titles that don't readily show up.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. It's very stupid. Like, even back when the Vita store was in full swing, I wanted to play Valkyria Chronicles 2, which you used to be able to buy on the Vita or PS TV. Or maybe it was just the PS TV. Like, you used to be able to buy it on the PS TV, but then you couldn't all of a sudden.
Really stupid.
It's not like there's Vita content like touchscreen or whatever that you need. It's a PSP game. Anything on the PSP should be playable on the Vita. So I couldn't buy it on the Vita, or I don't have a Vita, but a PSTV. I couldn't buy it on the PSTV, but strangely, there's no problem at all with my buying it on the PlayStation 3 and then transferring it from there. And then once it's on the PSTV, it's not like it's whitelisted. You have to hack it to play it. It was just not on the store, so it launches no problem.
Was that way too. Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops is like had the same issue.
Did it? I thought I was able to buy that. Or maybe it was just earlier.
I don't know. I remember having to do some roundabout ass thing to get it on, working on my Vita, but
it's irritating.
Yeah.
You know what was real fun? This is actually cheating because this was never meant to be on the PSTV, but Silent Hill Book of Memories.
Oh.
You know what was really entertaining was like downloading the DLC and transferring that over. That was a couple of steps because like this
wasn't it like Japan only or something like that? Yeah.
No, actually I was able to do it easily enough. I could transfer whatever I want. It's just that it won't launch. That's something I needed a hack for. But when Sony patched out the hack and then I needed the DLC, I had to jump through. I mean, like, I was never supposed to do this anyway, so I can't blame them. Like, why can't I play Book of Memories? Like, I was never supposed to, but I really had to jump through some hoops to get the DLC transferred over.
Yeah, I mean, there's still some really great PSP exclusive titles that I really recommend. A lot of them are like from Capcom. Capcom really supported the PSP really, really well. There's some exclusive Legend of Heroes games, the ones that were before the Trails games, the Gergrev trilogy. It's not the best in the world, but it's for curiosity's sake, I recommend it, just because it's, Falcom. But, like, they're not bad. They're just, they're the Trails games are way better. Let's just put it that way. But, there's just, like, a few out there. Brave Story was, I think, a UMD exclusive still.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, there's quite a few UMD exclusives, like Crisis Core.
Yeah, Valkyrie Profile Lenneth.
Yeah, Valkyrie Profile Lenneth as well.
I can't believe that they've never done anything with that game. It's just like...
It's on mobile.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's on mobile, but who cares?
Does it look like shit, like with the Final Fantasy games?
Well, no. It looks like a PSP game.
Okay.
PS1 game or whatever, I actually recently bought the PS1 version of Valkyrie Profile because I hadn't owned it. Just because, like, I kind of just want that one,
Do you have Valkyrie Profile 2, by the way?
I have it, yeah.
Because that game actually is like 1080i on a PS2.
Yeah, it's one of the very few ones. It's that and like Gran Turismo 4 and like what is it, like Final Fantasy 12, something like that.
I think Final Fantasy 12, because I remember seeing a YouTube video of it in 1080, like way before the HD version came out.
Yeah, here's the thing though, like, don't be impressed by 1080i because 720p is actually a better resolution.
Yeah.
I keep trying to tell people that it is a higher number, but like, think about what interlaced and progressive is. Progressive is twice the amount of lines, so what is it? 14. It's 1420 lines. That's higher than 1080. So.
But even 720 though, I think you could still do 720 on a
PS2,
sure.
Yeah. With the PS2, it was weird because I think a lot of those games switched resolutions. I know Gran Turismo only did it for gameplay. Any of the menus in between, it had to switch to another resolution or something. But it was real funky because they never assumed you would have a high definition television back then, and for good reason. Maybe like an EDTV. Those were kind of starting to be a little bit more mainstream. They weren't never that mainstream to begin with. An EDTV, I don't know if you even know about what EDTVs were.
No, the closest I can think of is like the PVMs that nobody had.
Yeah, I mean, EDTVs were extended definition, so they would like have 480p TVs rather than the 480i's that we're used to. But yeah, they weren't common. Let's just put it that way. 720p televisions were much more common than 1080i at the time, and then eventually 1080p, and now we have 4K obviously. But I think there's just some really cool stuff on the PSP I think we'll never see again. I mean, there's an exclusive Ghosts and Goblins, Ultimate Ghouls and Ghosts. That's on there.
There's the Power Stone.
That Power Stone. Yeah, but that's so irritating. So Power Stone collection and what is it? Street Fighter Alpha 3 have like their best versions on the PSP, but you can't play them 2-player easily. So who gives a shit?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like you're actually probably better off playing Power Stone 1 and 2 on their own, but the collection has like a weird quirk. Like I think you could use some Power Stone 2 characters in Power Stone 1 or something like that.
Yeah, and vice versa. So you can use all the characters in both games.
That's pretty cool.
And that is cool, but like that's a really fun 2-player game, like the first one, and the second one's a really fun 4-player game. So that's the reason why you're playing it. I would even suggest like for Smash Brothers fans, like Power Stone 2 was like what we used to.
Yeah, Power Stone 2 is like Smash before Smash. It's just that nobody had it because it was on the Dreamcast.
Yeah, I absolutely love the Dreamcast. So I was all about like especially like Power Stone was the first game I ever played on the Dreamcast. And it was actually kind of funny. I played it at a kiosk at like an electronics boutique at the time, in EB Games, and a line formed behind me to like try to play me, but like I actually like figured out how to play the game, so like everybody was losing to me. I was like a 12-year-old kid at the time.
Nice.
So yeah, it was pretty awesome. It was like one of those cool moments. And like adults were losing to me. It was pretty fun. But there's just some really cool stuff. I mean, there's a unique version of Mega Man X on there that I like quite a bit. Maverick Hunter X.
Maverick Hunter, where you could actually play as Vile.
Yeah, and he has this unique dialogue and unique stories. It's not just a palette swap. Like he has unique things going on.
And unique mechanics as well. Like
the weapons are completely unique. Yeah. Let me see. What else is there? There's also Mega Man Powered Up. That's another good one, a remake of 1, and it's much better than 1 ever was. That's for sure. Because Mega Man 1 is probably the worst, like, regular Mega Man game. So, just by default. I can't think of any of them that are worse. Because the first Mega Man is extremely difficult. It's so difficult. It's not even worth your time. It doesn't even have a password system. So, like...
Yeah, but it has Gutsman.
It does have Gutsman.
Gutsman's awesome.
And he's never been explained. What the hell is a Guts block? Like, what is this?
He picks up big squares and he throws them. That's all you need.
Yeah, but why are they called Guts blocks? Are they made out of, like, intestines?
Can throw them.
Like, why are they called that?
Well, you know what? There's a game on the Wii. Well, there's 2 of them. They're the Scooby-Doo Wii games. I think I might have played the one like Night of 100 Frights or 1,000 Frights or whatever it is. But like the game has a little bit of meta humor because it's been like 40 years since it came out when the Wii version came out.
Like Scooby-Doo's just like that now. It's very self-referential.
Yeah, because like I mean, look at the '60s show. Like, come on. But like there's a part where like sometimes I think it's Fred will just idly say like, why are they called Scooby Snacks? It's amazing.
Well, it's kind of like the episode of SpongeBob where they are trying to find out what's in Krabby Patties. Like, is it actually crab? Is he serving up other crabs? Like, what's he doing?
Yeah.
But yeah, nah. Like, they smartly never reveal it.
Because it's like then the mystery's gone.
Well, it even if you were to answer it, it just wouldn't be satisfying. Like,
well, that's the whole thing. You have the mystery and whatever was in your... It's like what I say about horror movies that Hellboy did right and so many other movies do wrong, is showing the big cosmic horror.
Yeah.
Hellboy 1 had like a tentacle start coming out of a portal and you're like, oh, but then they close the portal before it can really reveal itself. And whatever you were thinking was probably cooler than, number 1, the design, and number 2, what the effects of the time could produce anyway.
I mean, the creators of that are very well aware of like Lovecraftian horror, so like they don't want you to ever like have
The whole
a
point is you
illogical
can't see it or you'll go
conception.
insane.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
They
like
don't want to have
Cthulhu's
you
been
to have a
normalized. If you were to see
conception
Cthulhu
of
in
it.
real life, you'd be like, holy fuck, that's gigantic, but I know what that is.
Yeah, exactly. All right. With a few recommendations there, I think we can move on to the second thing. But I
Yeah, the
assume
second
this
one,
is
I'm
just
hyped.
a introduction here from you.
Yeah, super quick. Summer Games Done Quick
Super
2021
quick.
is now. It's right now. They started on July 4th, and it wasn't the first game they played, but they did recently, at the time of this recording, finish up Metal Wolf Chaos. What better game to play on July 4th? The most American game ever made in Japan.
And we appreciate it.
How do you like me now? You know what I realized, by the way, as I was watching this game? There's in Dark Souls, I want to say 2. I mean, you've played Dark Souls 1. You know how you can unlock gestures?
Yeah.
One of the gestures in, I believe, 2 is when you do the thumb across your throat, like, cut off your head.
Oh, sure.
And then after doing that, give the thumbs down. It's like, you're dead. Thumbs down. That might have been a Metal Wolf Chaos reference, because Richard Hawk does that in his mech when you first see him. You're like, "What, Richard?" And he's like, "Wah," and he does the gesture.
I
Like,
just love
wow, okay.
how much of an evil villain the evil villain in that is.
He's such a prick who likes being a prick, which makes him all the more annoying. But kind of, you love to hate him.
I kind of like that these days. Like, sometimes a bad guy's just a dick for no reason.
He's just a dick.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite bits is in the start of one of the levels where he makes his grand entrance. It's just the greatest line delivery in any game ever, where he just goes, "Ooh, hello, hello, hello." It's like, what is this? It's great.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So SGDQ is happening now. It will go on like every GDQ for a week. There's breaks between playthroughs, but the broadcast is nonstop, 24/7 for 7 days. Have fun. It's always fun to watch.
Well, I in particular am happy to hear about whatever you point out to me, because you usually point out like a lot of really cool, fun stuff.
Yeah, I try watching every run that I'm interested in, because they go up on, like, the VOD goes up in a day or two after the fact, so like I will see runs that I've missed during SGDQ, which is very convenient. I can't wait for the Awful Block, because the Awful Block's always just so stupid. The only thing is, Metal Wolf Chaos in particular, and Awful Block, those are more fun when there's a live audience around. We can't do that now, obviously, but it's still a very entertaining event, and you get to see the chat, like the Twitch chat, just blow up when funny things happen. So I'm excited. Yeah,
That's amazing. Well, moving on from that, we have actually some pretty neat. I don't know whether it's neat, but it's kind of like, I guess it's kind of like it's ramping up. So there's obviously Nintendo, Sony and Microsoft are really trying to battle it out for this generation. So they're really acquiring a lot of talent and big name stuff. But Sony ended up acquiring Housemarque, who made the recent hit Returnal for PS5. So that's the roguelite kind of ish.
Yeah, that was the big, like, it's the first game well, no, that's not true. I was gonna say it's the first big $70 game I could think of, but that was Demon's Souls.
Yeah.
But yeah, Returnal was like this big deal when it came out. Although people balked at paying $70 for a roguelite, but the people who played it, especially post patches, seemed to be into it.
Yeah, and I think they made their money on it. Like, obviously, it was a hit.
That honestly, that comes off as a risk to me, though. Like a roguelite.
Yeah.
Like, damn, like Gungeon wasn't $70.
Yeah, but this is like, this is a full 3D like AAA kind of experience.
Yeah.
It's not like it's not like an indie title. So, I think that's really, really. I mean, it kind of stinks that we're losing like an independent, company. But I mean, Sony acquiring them, it just makes sense. Hopefully, they'll they'll give them some autonomy, because obviously what they're doing over there worked out for them. But yeah, I just find this kind of stuff is starting to ramp up, and I'm excited to see what turns up after it, because like a smaller company like Housemarque could probably benefit from having the pockets of Sony on their side too. So
Yeah, I mean that does make sense. It's different because it's like an indie company versus some giant company acquired by another giant company. But I still get nervous when I see big companies buying everything out.
yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I do too. Um, next thing is Ghost of Tsushima has their director's cut announced for both PS4 and PS5, and there is a new fully playable island expansion called Iki Island.
Yeah, that's insane because Ghost of
Iki, I
Tsushima.
should say.
Did you play?
Iki.
Did you play it?
No, but I want to. But I'm glad
Yeah,
that I waited, because now I don't have to go back and
yeah,
play
because
it.
like the game is divided into three large sections. So I mean, it's all on one island. So Iki Island is another island, but my guess is it's going to be one more large
Yeah.
section, and I'm okay with that. I platinum that game. That game is fantastic.
Yeah, I'm a
Now,
big
you
Sucker
don't.
Punch fan. I've
Yeah.
been a Sucker Punch fan since their early days. So,
Now, and by the way, I should mention you do not have to buy the director's cut to get the expansion. It is also like the upgrade to director's cut. I think is like $30.
oh sweet.
So yeah, you don't have to buy the same game twice because that would be annoying. We're not doing an Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3,
Yeah,
so you could still catch up if you already had the game, which a lot of people who are like really I've been really wanting to play this game, they may already have bought.
this may be the game that I play after Like a Dragon whenever I finish that. So, um,
Yeah, it's very good. It's like the open world style of like you just run around and fight stuff. Like it just makes me think of Horizon Zero Dawn, where the
sure.
map shows you all sorts of things to do. One thing I will say, even on a base PS4, the loading times are insane. I could not believe how good they were. It's like a few seconds when you're fast traveling from one area to
Oh,
another.
that's
It's like
amazing.
mind blowing. I have no idea how they pulled that off.
Well, I'm excited because I know you're when you like something and you're excited about something, it must be really good. So,
Oh, by the way, one other thing that is excitement worthy. I don't remember if I mentioned this in the cast, but when I played the game, I wanted to set the language to Japanese because this is an
just seems like it.
extremely
Yeah.
yeah, it's an extremely Japanese game, even though it was ironically made in the West. But the thing that threw me off is I'm used to watching anime in Japanese, and like, or if I watch it English dubbed, I'm used to the lip flaps not quite working out because it wasn't filmed for that, you know? But Ghost of Tsushima, the mouth movements are specifically for English.
Oh wow.
And let me tell you, it was kind of a surreal experience watching the Japanese not line up with the mouth movements. I was like, that's the opposite of what normally happens. So even though the Japanese voice cast, I recognized a few of the voice actors. Like it's a good cast, and I assume good performances. I don't know Japanese, so I couldn't like tell you, oh, that was a good read or whatever. But like, I ended up switching to English. English performance is fantastic, but I think one of the updates that's coming with this director's cut is like they have also synced the mouth movements to Japanese if you're into that. So like first, like I don't know how much that'll matter to everybody, but that actually is kind of a big deal for me. I think I'll stick with English because I've been using English and it's been great.
Sure.
But
And it's
now's
also
your big
what you're
chance
used
if
to.
you don't want.
Yeah.
That's the thing, and like, but if you want to listen to the Japanese now, you won't risk being taken out of it by like once you see it, you can't unsee it. So I think it should work more smoothly now.
Sure. No, I'm all for it. I want to play this, and I want to play, the newest God of War game.
Yeah, that's also spectacular.
I want to play both of
Very
those
story
because I missed out on them, and
Have you ever played any God of War?
that's the thing. I only played them like briefly. So
Well,
I know
but I mean, they all play very similarly.
Yeah.
It's just the graphics and presentation get better and better. God of War PS4 is very different. It's very story driven, and Kratos is very sober. You're not just running and murdering like dozens of enemies.
Yeah, and I know it's a good place to start off too. So
Yeah, no, it's definitely like there are like allusions to the previous game. Like Kratos
But
clearly
I
has a
basically
history.
know them. Like he becomes the new god of war and then kills everybody. Like I know the general
Yeah,
story. Yeah.
and the funny thing is the game doesn't even go into all that. It mentions that he's killed like this or that, but it doesn't mention like all the shit that happens in God of War 3. But like obviously Kratos doesn't look like anybody else around here.
Sure.
He's a Spartan warrior. Like what is this? But even so, this game is like almost a clean break from the previous ones. Like you can easily have this be your first game. My brother played it as his first God of War, and he was like, "Oh, when this happens, that looked like it was a reference to something, but otherwise,
Yeah.
you're fine."
No, I might as well not torture myself and say, oh, I have to play like 3 games before I can play the one that I actually want to play.
Yeah.
So,
Or but believe it or not, God of War 3 takes the 2 PSP games into account. Not that you really need to get the plot, but it's like, oh, you killed this person in the PSP games. So like,
like
if you
Hermes
really want to go whole,
like Hermes or something, like.
I don't even remember if you.
I'm sure.
Him.
I think you do kill Hermes.
I mean, you kill fucking everyone, but yeah, if you really want to go whole hog, then 5 games.
Yeah, I know. I know, but like, I only have so much time as an adult now, and
yeah, I know. And especially because newer games are like these more epic, long. You should probably only play them once experiences.
Exactly, and like this is the one that I'm excited about. So
it's very good.
Yeah.
And God of War PS4 is also it's interesting because unless you die, there's just like no loading screens.
Yeah,
it's so smooth.
No, I want to go back to it. I mean, like Sony's exclusives from this generation were just so good.
They're bangers.
Yeah,
man.
like Horizon Zero Dawn was one of my favorite games I've ever played. I really love that game.
I'm telling you, man. Base PS4. I freaking love Horizon Zero Dawn. I platinum that as well.
I love that
but
too.
Like fast travel in Horizon, and then fast travel in Ghost of Tsushima. You will not believe your eyes.
No, I'm gonna go back to it. I want to play Last of Us 1 and 2. I haven't played either of them, so
yeah, those are very good. Like again, I don't know how. Even if you want to pick up the collectibles, like I don't know if you want to replay them.
Yeah,
but they're very very good.
I kind of want to replay Uncharted 4 just because it was such a fun thing to watch.
Yeah, that was spectacular.
I kind of want to get my wife to watch it because like I was just like, no, this is what a game can be. Like,
yeah,
like
it's
a movie.
Unreal. Yeah,
and just like it had a realistic relationship in it, which I never expected. Like
yeah, the idea that it's like you're never home because you're doing this dangerous bullshit that we don't even need to do anymore. Like it's threatening our marriage.
Yeah, and you should trust me. I've helped you before, and
yeah,
don't
like
lie
just
to
the whole
me.
idea that like if you really knew Nathan Drake in real life, like I don't know if you'd really want to hang around. Yeah, like he would be like insufferable.
Yeah.
Like his friends in the games hang out with him because they're also insufferable. They're these like endless thrill seekers, but like if you're a family person, stay far away from Nathan
He also
Drake, man.
has killed scores of men.
Yeah, the games never really go into that he should be like a psycho now.
Well, no, they talk about it at the end of Uncharted 2.
for a little, yeah, they do. I just remember them calling that out in Uncharted.
Am I that bad? You
in
killed my entire squad of men.
Actually, now that I think about it, Uncharted 4 does deal with that woman who
Chloe
runs the mercenary squad.
Oh, her.
Like by the end of the game, she's like, "You've killed my entire fucking staff. Like, what do I do now?"
Yeah. Nathan Drake is basically a psychopath.
I mean, like, we're getting off topic now, but this is where like Drakengard came from.
Yeah.
Like Drakengard 1, because Yoko Taro's message in that, because the characters in that game are like unlikable.
Yeah.
And Yoko Taro's message was that if you like, because Drakengard is like a Dynasty Warriors game where you're like
killing scores.
You have
of
a kill
people.
count and it's like 200 kill.
Yeah.
And Yoko Taro's message was that either that should traumatize the fuck out of you, or if not, if you're like, the player of the game, ooh, my score is going up. Like if you were like that in real life, then you should be like stark raving mad.
Yeah.
So here you go. Here's a cast of characters that are fucked up.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, moving on from that, this is becoming more and more substantiated rumor, but it appears there will be a new Dead Space game. There are conflicting rumors that it is a fourth game or a straight up reboot, like slash remake of the first game, or maybe the first and second game. Who knows?
You could just remaster those and do something different with Dead Space.
Yeah.
To be fair, those games do need to be ported.
Yeah. I mean, nobody wants to break out their PS3 to play one of the best horror action games ever made.
Well, not to mention, I never thought I'd say this, and you never thought I'd say this, but Dead Space 3 really shines in multiplayer.
Yeah.
It actually does, and at this point, the PS3 servers, I don't even know if they're up for Dead Space, but even if they are, who's on? You gotta find your friend that you know to play with.
Yeah, probably the best way to experience it right now is probably on the EA Origin through PC, because that has free multiplayer, but...
That'd make sense. Yeah. But yeah, if they could port that stuff over to the PS4 or something, like... It really has been a while at this point. Like, bring it back. They did the whole Mass Effect trilogy. Like, you could do this too.
Yeah, EA goes through, like, periods of time where they're cool, and then they really suck, and then they're like, oh, wait, maybe we should go back to the well where, people like this.
Maybe we should... We've gotten blasted too hard. Let's make amends with Star Wars Fallen Order.
Yeah, no, they'll all of a sudden come out with something awesome.
We do know how to make good games. We promise. We just haven't. Well, no, they
like
have.
Mirror's Edge 2. They'll all of a sudden come out with a Mirror's Edge 2, and you'll be like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Unraveled.
We do know how to
2,
make games. We just really like bogging them down with corporate bullshit.
Yeah, they're the Unraveled games. Like the indie kind of titles that they keep putting out are really good. Like It Takes Two. That was a lot of fun.
That was a very. Oh, that's the one with the wedded couple?
Yeah, exactly. They're
okay. I was thinking the predecessor, A Way Out, but yeah, both are very clever.
They're by the same company. That's why you're getting them confused, and they have the similar mechanics.
That's the thing. They both really involve the player dynamics of each other.
They're the ones that that do the Two Sons game as well.
Brothers of Tale of Two Sons.
Yeah, that one. Yeah,
that's a single player, 2-player game.
yeah. So like they've been using this mechanic like throughout their entire like development career.
You know what cracked me up is toward the beginning of A Way Out. There's a part where you arm wrestle with your opponent and you got a button mash, and that's like it's agony because both of you are button mashing.
It's like playing Crossfire as an adult.
Yeah, like if one of you doesn't just throw the game, then you are gonna like break your arm mashing the button. It's just like, come on.
When you're a kid, you could play a game like Crossfire and beat the other kid because maybe they're not as fast. But like when you're an adult and you're both good at it, like no.
Yeah, that's pretty scary.
Nah, it doesn't work. I bought a Crossfire set in college, and it wasn't fun because we were too good at it. Yeah.
Oh, you did not get caught up in the Crossfire?
Yeah!
That one kid gets blasted into the hell dimension. I don't know what happened to him.
He's wearing that leather jacket. Oh,
yes.
One of my favorite moments is the last MagFest that we went to, I guess 2 years ago. Or maybe it was the one before that. But there was like a 2 a.m. like Crossfire rave.
Oh no!
And so me and Perry,
those little tiny balls everywhere that nobody can clean up.
Me and Perry went there, and it was just it was a group of people had grouped in a room and just all crowded around one tiny Crossfire set, and everybody was raving around them while they were playing each other.
That's
it was
absurd.
One of the best times I've ever had in my life. It was like they were
sounds
wearing
like 2 years ago,
and they were like shirtless. It was amazing.
No, you gotta wear that dude bro leather jacket that little kid was wearing and be like, yeah, with the sunglasses.
It was surreal. It was kind of like Xerxes in 300. Like when they went back.
Oh yeah, he just shows up on a giant throne being carried by people, and you're like, what?
It's just like goat people and shit.
The one lobster claw guy. You're like, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
That guy was in real history. What?
It was like stepping into that because there were like people. There was like a guy announcing it, but like he was like announcing it in like trippy weird ways. He's just like he was basically like sounding like a vampire and dancing around while he was announcing. It was perfection. Like it was and like all the while
Perfection's a different game. This was Crossfire.
I was tired, so like it was just all the more surreal. Like, is this actually happening?
Yeah.
It was amazing. It was really good. But yeah, I would expect a genuine Dead Space announcement very soon. I know I've said that about things, and I've been wrong about things in the past, but this one, I trust this one. And next one is, this is a rumor that keeps popping up, but it seems more and more substantiated. So Konami and Bloober team, the team behind Layers of Fear and
and the Medium,
are working together on something. They have confirmed. So people are assuming that it's a Silent Hill game. Which,
it's almost certainly another Silent Hill game, just like it was the last
Layers
time
of
people
Fear
assumed
was
something.
They
just like it was the last time people assumed something.
Yeah.
Just like it was the last time people assumed something.
I mean, they make horror games, so I mean,
they do, but it's been 9 years. Fucking let it go.
Yeah, but this is a good assumption. Maybe they'll make like a walking simulator Silent Hill game. Who knows? But who knows? Maybe they'll switch up.
Wake me when something actually happens. I'm sick of this bullshit about it's
not
for
even
sure
September
this time. Yeah, last Silent Hill game we got was 2012. Last Silent Hill game Japan got was Pachinko.
That's very true. Oh, we got the Light Gun game. How long ago was that?
Technically, round 1 did get that, but I'm still going to say that's Japan only.
You can play
round 1's whole thing is importing arcade games.
You can play them in town right now.
I mean, I have actually played the real thing, but I'm still calling that Japan
only. Yeah, so like unsubstantiated, but like Konami and Bloober team are working on something that is confirmed. That much is confirmed. So
yes,
we'll see what's going on. This was a really welcome surprise. So an AI, the Somnium Files, Nirvana Initiative, which is a full sequel to AI, the Somnium Files.
I'm pretty excited about this.
It was
even
announced.
Though I have the first game. I haven't played it yet, but the people who have played it have said it's like spectacular. Yeah. So I should look into that.
Yeah, and it's even up for pre-order already, even though it's coming out like next spring. But like this is a game to get excited over if you're into like investigation, like horror
visual
games,
novel style
visual
games.
Yeah, if you like Danganronpa and Ace Attorney games, this is for you. It's the same kind of vibe. And if you're like a fan of like 999, this is like in the same category. The Zero Escape games. So I think, or is it Zero Time Dilemma? What like nonary games?
Well, they're all called. Yeah, you got it. The nonary games.
Yeah.
999 is the first one. Virtue's Last Reward is the second one, and Zero Time Dilemma is the third one.
Gotcha. So yeah, this one is a Spike Chunsoft joint, so it's going to be good.
Yeah, they've just been killing it with their releases lately.
They're all good. And I'm really looking forward to it. This one, the first one, I did get the collector's edition, but there is no chance in hell that I'm ordering the collector's edition of the second one. Did you take a look at it?
I did not see what it was.
Oh, it's insanity. So it has a PVC
like a figure
by Good Smile Company, and it's like 100.
Good Smile makes quality stuff.
Oh
but
no, I'm not saying the quality. It's just not something I want.
I don't care for collector's editions that are like $100 more than they could be because there's a figure that I don't care about.
Yeah, and a statue. I don't care about statues. But
like they're cool, but they're not for me.
Yeah, so that's really what's bumping it up. It's $160. Yeah, it's just way too much. There's a definitive art book with it, a soundtrack.
That's cool. That's what I'm into.
Yeah, I'm into the art book too, but I'm not buying it based off of all the money's going to that PVC figure, and I don't care about that. But also, this one's surprising because before AI only came out on Switch, I think, and
no, it was out on. I think everything.
Probably not Xbox.
I don't know about Xbox, but I mean, I have the PS4 version, and there was like a limited PC version, I believe.
Oh, okay.
And the limited run games had the PS4 version, and I forgot who had the PC. Maybe they had PC too. I think limited run games did physical PC.
Okay, well,
but I have it on PS4.
I think they're the surprising one about this one is that Xbox One is getting the
Yeah,
game
I don't
and a
know if the
physical
first
copy.
one was on Xbox. So
Yeah,
yeah, all right.
I think that's what people were going nuts over because the Xbox fans get overlooked probably the most. So
Yeah.
so that's exciting. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I already pre-ordered the damn thing because why the hell not? Plus, these days, if you don't pre-order something, you could go fuck yourself, I guess.
Yeah,
Because
buy it digitally.
yeah, I mean, everything that I want, just sells out
It's such a pain in the
immediately.
ass.
Yeah, they should
It's like
just
it's
produce
like tricking us
enough.
into, well, it's like tricking us into actually paying full price for games now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you could always find it digitally, but yeah.
Yeah.
Moving on from that, I did want to mention this. I think I had mentioned that Samurai Gunn 2 had been announced. So Samurai Gunn is a really fun game. I really like it. It's very similar to Towerfall. I really love Towerfall. Towerfall is like one of the best party games ever made. And this game not only is about missile combat, kind of like Towerfall. It's all about arrow shooting, but you also have a katana as well. So you have like 6 bullets in a katana, and you have to face off. And I think the first one was one-on-one only.
I think I remember that. I played a little bit of that with you.
And I enjoyed it quite a bit, but it never got as complex as Towerfall did.
Yeah, it's good, but it never went, because Towerfall's up to 4 players. It never went full on party mode.
Yeah, and Towerfall even got up to 6 players on Switch. But Samurai Gunn 2 looks phenomenal. It looks really, really good, and it's entering its beta right now for Steam Early Access. So you can actually get in on early access stuff right now, and have some input on it. I think all of the features are locked in now, so they won't be adding features, but you can have input on how the gameplay is and stuff like that. So I'm excited about this game because I really love the couch competition games. I'm going to call them. Of that era, like the Towerfall was like the big one, but there were plenty of other ones like Johann Sebastian Joust and shit like that. It was like Sports Friends. Like there were like a bunch of games like this. Even I would even say that what was it, Black Hornet or whatever that game is. Or Killer Queen, yeah.
Black.
Killer Queen Black. Yeah, that's it. I'm sorry. Is kind of similar, to all of these, or Nidhogg. Nidhogg was another one that I really liked, or even Dive Kick. I would even throw that in there.
Yeah, or Lethal League.
Yeah, Lethal League is another one. Yeah, you're just right. Yeah, it's like couch competition games. Is kind of what I call them, and I don't think anybody's ever really coined a phrase that stuck for that type of game, but I really like that kind of stuff. Like, it's basically like a party game almost. Like, it's the best way I could describe them. But it's not like the focus isn't online. But yeah, I really enjoy this, and I'm Towerfall hasn't had like new content in a really long time, so I'm sure they're working on something. They made Celeste, didn't they? The Towerfall guy made Celeste. So that's probably why.
I don't know, but now that you mention it, the aesthetic is similar with the profile pictures and Celeste.
Even the gameplay is very similar. So that's probably why he hadn't done anything, because he was making a different game. But yeah, I think Samurai Gunn would be a lot of fun. So the new one. So I'm really looking forward to it. It also never got ported to anything, and I would hope that the second one would, because I think it was only locked to Steam. And it never went on sale or anything, because like the creators of it didn't want to devalue it, but at the same time it it never sold really well because of that. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword,
Mm-hmm.
Well, moving on from that, this was a surprise. So apparently, Space Jam: A New Legacy, the LeBron James Space Jam game, or Space Jam movie, is getting a like 2D beat 'em up, like a pixelated 2D beat 'em up, which like surprise out of nowhere.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, I have you seen the screens for this?
No, I never even heard about
It
this.
looks very similar to River City Girls. Like I would be actually kind of surprised if it didn't have like a crossover. But yeah, for the Xbox platform, they are coming out with what appears to be a 3-player beat 'em up game.
Curious.
Yeah, where you can play as Lola, um, Bugs Bunny, or LeBron. So that's pretty cool.
I want to play as the Monstars.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to this because it's that kind of thing that isn't really made for like advertisement anymore, like a licensed game on a console that has like some love put into it, and this definitely looks like there was some love put into it. I'm into 2D beat 'em up, so I will I'm all over this, so I can't wait to play it. But yeah, apparently if you have Game Pass as of right now, you can start playing the game for free. Space Jam 2, man. Do not forget that this has to be in continuity with Shut Up and Jam Gaiden, so just make sure.
Well, obviously,
Yeah.
This is canon.
It's post Chaos Dunk, or maybe it is in like a divergent timeline.
I'm gonna guess Divergent Timeline. I don't think we're doing post Chaos Dunk in the real
Because
movie.
maybe the Chaos Dunk was so powerful it created an infinite amount of realities around it. I'm gonna go with that.
might be onto something.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on here. Of course, I just kind of wanted to throw this out there because I didn't mention it, but Zombies Ate My Neighbors, the collection, came out last week, and it, of course comes with Ghoul Patrol. I did download it. I didn't feel it necessary to pick up a physical copy of it because I already own a physical copy of the original game.
Yeah.
But I recommend it for people who want to go back to it. I'm not the biggest fan of that game. Like I know it has a lot of fans.
I love the aesthetic,
yeah.
but it just doesn't look like something that I would personally enjoy playing, especially because that game is hard.
Yeah, I like the music. I like
the music's great.
Certain things about it.
The aesthetic is brilliant, and some of the monsters and bosses and stuff are very, very awesome.
Yeah, I think the major appeal back in the day is that it was, a 2-player game with a lot of content back in the day. So I think that is the genesis of its its fandom. Is a lot of people played it with their siblings and stuff like that. So back in the day. So I like it, but for $15, I mean, you can't beat $15 for 2 classic games. So I mean, it's worth the $15 if you ask me. I just kind of wish they did some like it is a kind of a bare bones port. They didn't like go the extra mile and be like, hey, add some like twin stick controls to it, which would make the game a lot easier.
Well, what I would like is if you game over and continue, like you keep your stuff, or like have the ability to continue.
Yeah, they didn't fix any of that up. They didn't do quality of life.
Not to mention, like level select. It exists. You can go to, I think, any level in the game, but it's useless because you only start out with your basic pistol, so you are absolutely going to die.
Yeah, they literally ask you for a password still in this version of the game, which is like, I guess it's a kitschy throwback thing, but like, come on.
Yeah.
We only had passwords because we had to have them back
yes.
then. Yeah. So, moving on from that, I just quickly wanted to say that Arcade Archives Raiden is awesome. Please download it if you're into classic shmups at all. It's a really good one, and we're very lucky to get it. I outlined the reasons why last week, but this is a lot of fun. So please get it. I also wanted to quickly mention that the new Mario Golf Super Rush is kind of only okay.
I've heard a little bit about that from some people posting who had played it. Like, it's good, but there's like unrealized potential.
Yeah, and that's a shame considering that Aces was like one of the best ones that they ever made. So I was kind of having high hopes for this one. So I'm gonna hold off. At least for a while. But who knows? I mean, Aces had a really long update. Like it had a really long service length. So who knows? Maybe they'll add like a lot more content to it. I know they added a ton of content to Aces. Kind of like Arms. Arms got a lot of like post launch content that was free because people were loving it. So let's hope that's the case. Also, Ease 9 Monstrum Nox.
That's a kick-ass name. I know that like Lacrimosa of Dana is like a dumbass name, but Monstrum Nox is freaking sweet.
Monstrum Nox is a much better name than Lacrimosa of Dana. Lacrimosa of Dana is probably the worst one that they ever came up with. But
I think I talked about that with you before. I was like, it's uncommon, but Lacrimosa is a word, and you're like, no, Lacrimosa. Like, okay.
Yep. No. This is definitely one of those like, can I out English myself? Like, Duodecum takes the cake, but
that like every single time I see that title, I think of like that part of your intestine, like the duodenum. No, it's duodecum or duodecim or whatever the hell it is.
I mean, like, I know it's Latin, but shut up.
Yeah. Well, it reminds me, I've mentioned this multiple times on the cast before, but that one Rosenkreuz Stilette with some extra name on it game.
Oh, the second one, yeah. Rosenkreuz Stilette is already like, if you hadn't been told how to pronounce it, you'd be like, what? The second one.
Yeah, like the name just keeps going, and somebody in the comment section of like a trailer for the game or review for it or whatever had said like the name of this game is so German it could only have been made in Japan. It's just like I saw that in the Twitch chat on SGDQ today about Metal Wolf Chaos. Like, this game is so American it could only be Japanese.
Rosenkreuz Stilette, which is one word by the way.
Yeah.
Freudenstachel.
Yeah, like, dude, come on. We get it. You're German.
The second word.
Even Germans aren't that German.
Yeah. And all for a lolly-themed Mega Man game.
Yeah, like, the game looks alright. Thanks.
But, this is finally coming out on Switch tomorrow as of the release of this recording, so on Wednesday. That's great because this 9 is only out on PS4 and PC so far, so getting a Switch version is very nice. Hopefully it'll run well. I know the last one had some issues, but I mean, these games are so low tech. I mean, they're a hell of a lot of fun, and they look great for what they are aesthetically, but they are not like, high poly in the slightest. Like, they are artistically like fine, but like they are decidedly low tech. Also, Disgaea 6 is out. I just wanted to quickly mention that because, like, this guy is pretty awesome in concept.
Yeah, just in general.
Yeah. And Kazuya from Tekken is out for Smash. He is the second to last DLC character, penultimate.
That's the thing. Like, Kazuya is a very interesting character to come out for Smash. For some reason, I just never thought of that. But, like...
It makes sense.
But now we have the big thing, like, the final character. Like, who could it possibly be?
So it kind of has to be Waluigi, doesn't it? Like,
nah, he's a
I know,
summonable,
but, like,
whatever. That would be great. I would love that.
It has to be somebody like that they've been building up to. That you know what I mean, like.
Well, yeah, I'm assuming it would have to be someone who's like a big deal, like Master Chief or something. Like what? Like something like crazy.
Like I'm thinking it has to be a licensed character that you're not going to expect.
Yeah, a lot of people have been wanting really Doom cool. Guy.
That would be awesome. Yeah,
I'm not really into that idea, but I could see it working.
Master Chief, that would be cool.
It'd be funny because as a franchise it'd be very clever, but as a character it'd be so disappointing, is Liu Kang. Of all the Mortal Kombat
Yeah.
characters, you got Mr. Bland
Or
over
even
here.
just like, I would think it would be Scorpion that you would want to put in the game, just
Well,
because of
well,
or
that.
Sub-Zero.
Well, I'm iffy on this. I mean, obviously Scorpion would be more interesting, but Smash has consistently chosen
Like the hero.
the first main, and Scorpion's kind of become the mascot of Mortal Kombat. But like, I mean, like Kazuya's not the big Tekken guy now anymore, but like you got to do Kazuya because he's the first one. Like I think it would if they did Mortal Kombat, which they won't. I think they would have to start with Liu Kang, and nobody would like that.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of hope it's maybe a Sega character, like put, like Ryo in there from Shenmue or.
Oh, Shenmue, jeez. I was thinking Art of Fighting. I'm like, really?
No. Just like, Kazuma.
Cosmo would be great, but it's not happening.
Yeah, just like somebody cool, like Akira from Virtual Fighter, like the low poly version.
The low poly version would honestly score points with me, but Akira's also Mr. Bland. Ryo Hazuki though, I never thought of that, but I could actually buy that.
Yeah, so I mean we have a bunch of guesses, but who the hell knows? I mean, maybe they'll just troll us by putting another Fire Emblem character in there. But
that would actually be a legitimate troll, or like a Pokemon. It's like fuck off. It's already 16 of these things.
Well, think about it, if they put in Scorpion, they can have an alternate costume for Sub-Zero.
That'd be brilliant, but it ain't happening.
And Raiden, and
yeah, and Ermac, and
Smoke.
That's right, Smoke.
Ninja Smoke. Yeah.
And Chameleon with a C.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Chameleon. Chameleon's the one I always forget about.
Well, because he's not his own character; he's everybody.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah. We'll
be funny. Mortal Kombat 1 Reptile, where he's just Scorpion and Sub-Zero and faster. Like, it's just a bullshit character.
Yeah, I mean, I just hope it's just like something like nobody expected, but everybody wanted it.
I hope it's Sun.
Sun.
I'm just picking a name. There we go. That's who it is.
From Capcom.
Yeah.
The monkey.
That's the one.
Mr. Goemon. Not even like the Goemon that you're used to.
Yeah,
like
the Edo art painting Goemon. You're like, what? Why? Why did we go with this?
Like the geisha like faced, like not geisha. Faced,
yeah, the Edo painting looking.
Edo painting face.
Yeah, he just looks like artwork.
Yeah.
One of the characters from Sweet Home.
Sweet Homo.
I still can't believe they actually have Fatal Frame. I think 2 characters for like the assists.
Yeah,
like that's crazy. Like I never would have thought that.
It's the ultimate fan service game. It's just like
that's unbelievable.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, maybe it'll just like blow our fucking mind.
Isaac from Dead Space.
I mean, people want Gino, but no. I mean, it's not gonna happen.
Well, Gino's already a Mii costume. We're done.
Already a Mii costume. Yeah, exactly.
Like Shantae would have been great, but she's a spirit and a Mii costume.
Yeah, exactly. Cuphead's a Mii costume. Sans is a Mii costume. So like, yeah.
I forgot about Sans. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, Special Reserve Games also announced that they are again here with Devolver Digital Games, but they're putting out Broforce.
Yeah.
On physical, which I'm pretty excited about. That game is pretty darn fun.
You know what really made me laugh is that the bros you play as are like winks to like action movie stars movies and things like that, but they have bro incorporated in their name.
Mm-hmm.
The one that really got me was
the Broad.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, like the bride from Pulp Fiction, or not from Pulp Fiction. Uma Thurman was in that, but the bride from Kill Bill, the Broad. Yeah. Like that's brilliant. That's brilliant.
Yeah, they're all called like some variation of that, like Terminator Bro or whatever. Brominator.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was. Yeah. Brominator makes sense, I guess, and like Ram Bro, but like the Broad, like come on, that's great.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited about that because this game was pretty darn fun. It kind of like is a more loose, like kind of version of like Metal Slug or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like it, but this one is just real quick, but I had to mention this because I was like really happy for Kurt. But
Yes.
Hardcore Gaming 101's A Guide to Japanese Role-Playing Games sold out in 4 days. Like,
yeah,
that's insane.
Like the standard editions sold out.
Yeah. You can't buy. They'll have to do a second printing.
Yeah, like I had intentionally slept on it because I was waiting for it to get like a U.S. release, but at this point,
I don't think it will.
yeah, now I'm scared. So I think they said a second wave is coming out in October, so I'll have to keep my eyes out. Or my eyes peeled for that.
No, I think the last time that they did this one, there was only a European release.
Okay, so yeah, I missed my chance. I will have to wait a few months for another chance.
Yeah, and it's probably one of the best recent books I've ever bought.
Yeah, the people who got it said it's like nuts.
Yeah, the quality of print is unrivaled. It has one of those like Bible ribbons,
Yeah.
place.
I always appreciate it when books have their own bookmark.
Yeah, it has a ribbon bookmark. It has it is hefty. It is easily.
I can see it on your webcam. Like that looks clearly bigger than anything he's put out, with the possible exception of his very first one, the PC Adventure games. But even then, that was thicker, but not as like tall and wide. So
and that one was black and white and on cheap paper. This is on high gloss paper.
That's true. Yeah, that first book, if you wanted a color version, you had to go for digital because it's this giant ass book. But they went all the way with this thing.
Yeah, no, this is one of the coolest video game books I've ever seen in my life. I'm extremely happy with it, and I haven't even delved into it. It's wonderful. It's from Bitmap Books. Please keep an eye out for a second printing of it, because he obviously put in a ton of work, and a lot of the other contributors, from HG 101 are in it, of course, and it is worth every penny. It is an expensive book, but it is worth it. It is so high quality. It's really, really awesome.
Yeah, his quality's been consistent for years and years.
And I'm not just saying that because I'm friends with him. This is like his books are always amazing.
Yeah, I actually read them and buy the stuff that includes games I wouldn't be normally interested in, like shooters or whatever.
Yeah,
like the books are the wrestling. The books are damn good. What can I say?
Yeah, they're just unrivaled in terms of their research.
Like I'm currently reading the Persona one, which, as cool as that series is aesthetically, I've never touched it, and I don't know if I will. But reading up on it is so entertaining.
Yeah, no, it's amazing, and there's so much content for that book to go over that it's fascinating how it evolves over time, for sure. So I just wanted to mention that because it is an accomplishment putting this out and then like selling it, like being that popular so quickly for an independently published like fan book, basically. I mean, calling it that isn't doing its justice, because this is the most professional thing I've bought video game wise in a really long time. So it's really amazing. Moving on, just real quick, I just wanted to give some quick Mister updates because I haven't given them in a bit. But the GDA core has gotten the Game Boy Advance core has gotten some crazy updates, stuff that nobody ever asked for, and like they totally delivered on. It now has split screen 2-player with Link play.
That's ridiculous.
So it's essentially running 2 Game Boy Advance cores at the same time, and they're talking to each other. Isn't like that's insane?
Yeah, you don't need a link cable for this anymore.
Yeah, like you could have 2 screens of Pokemon running at the same time, and you could trade between the two. Yeah, that's really insane. Or you could play like a beat 'em up, like a Double Dragon Advance or something like that. Really insane stuff. I think you can even, like, if you have like VGA out, and if you have like an analog out and a digital out, you can even transmit those to 2 different screens.
Oh, nice.
So you could have one on one screen and one on the other. That's insanity. I've never seen anything like this. Even most emulators don't even bother with this feature. because it's too difficult to manage, and because you need to basically be running two emulators at the same time that can talk to each other. But yeah, I am down for that. If they could do that with this, then they could do it with a Neo Geo Pocket Color for sure. So I'm really excited to see, hey, will Lynx eventually have something like this? Where you could do a split screen, a Wonder Swan. Like a lot of these, a lot of the portable systems, you hardly ever got a chance to play those multiplayer because like you and your friend needed to have a link cable. You each needed to have your own system, and you each need to have the same games. Like other than like the super popular games, like Tetris, like how many friends did you have that had the same games that you had? You know
Yeah,
what I
right.
mean? Especially back then.
My favorite is like the esoteric stuff. Like you could do multiplayer if both you and your friend have a memory card with like Lost Kingdoms data on it, or
Yeah,
like Shadow Tower. Nobody had Shadow Tower, let alone you did, and you knew someone else who did.
yeah, and this was also before like the heyday of the internet. Like, how are you gonna find
Yeah.
somebody like that is into the same stupid thing that you're into on the playground? I mean, come on. I'm just thinking of like the four-player games, even like Wave Race. The original Wave Race on the Game Boy was a four-player game. Like, who else did you know that had a Game Boy and Wave Race?
Yeah, like
Like,
until you mentioned it right now, I didn't even know that existed.
yeah,
Like I'm learning this now. I only ever knew that there were two Wave Race games, 64 and Blue Storm.
yeah. The original Wave Race game was a Game Boy game.
That's
An
insane. I always
OG
thought
Game
the
Boy
original
game,
game was 64. That's wild.
and like a black and white Game Boy game. Yeah, it was overhead and everything. Yeah, I don't think a whole lot of people know about that actually. But I played it back in the day. Like there's a game called F1 Race that was like a four-player game. Like Faceball 2000 was a four-player game for Game Boy. Like who had all these friends that could get together at the same time with all their hardware?
Yeah, with the link cables and
The
everything.
same
Yep.
game. No, nobody. Come on. I can't believe they even like thought that it was going to be a thing. You know what I mean? Like like same thing with like the original Crystal Chronicles. Like who has like four friends that have Game Boy Advances that are roaring to come on over, and four
You have
like
four link
GameCube to
cables.
yeah GameCube to GBA link cables, so you could play this one game and later on two games with a Zelda game.
I think I
Right?
actually did that once. Maybe one of
Yeah,
us had a GameCube controller, but like somehow I think they actually had, maybe it was two. I forgot if it was three. Like GBAs with the compatibility. It was unbelievable.
yeah, but I got it going like a couple times, but it was a novelty. Like it wasn't like something where we beat the whole game or
Yeah,
anything like
nobody's
that. You
doing
know what I
that.
mean? Like both those games were adventure games that you needed to complete in multiple nights. Um, I would think that probably the only one that was semi-realistic was Pac-Man Versus, which you only need one Game Boy for that. But
Yeah, and it's
Jesus,
Pac-Man. You play it and it's over. Like you
yeah,
don't have
yeah,
to keep coming back.
exactly. Also, this was unusual, but Hotego, who has been working on the Capcom Play System 2 cores, that's basically all the famous Capcom games that you would ever really want, like all the Super Street Fighter 2 and Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, and like the Street Fighter Alpha games, like Darkstalkers games, like all the really like awesome like the Capcom never got any better in the arcade kind of games. He's been working on the CPS2 for a long time, and he usually keeps his betas for his Patreons to help him with and do like bug testing and that kind of stuff. But he released the beta forms for public use now, which is unusual. I guess he just wants to get more data out there for like bugs and things like that. But it seems like it's really coming along. I think he said that it'll probably enter like a finalized status in probably 3 months or so, which for a guy who's working on tons of games for a single platform to make sure that they all work, and this is like probably the most complicated core to date in terms of arcade stuff. I think it's just awesome. I mean, everybody's been really, really waiting for this, and it's really a gigantic accomplishment. I mean, they're basically the most wanted like arcade games you would ever want to play. There's like I don't think there's anything that rivals the stuff that Capcom put out during this era, other than Konami stuff. But like even they aren't close to the level of something like Street Fighter in terms of like staying power and things like that. Their fighting games are unrivaled, and they still are. So I think this is going to be really fun. And finally, this is off on a new topic, but I just wanted to put this out there that Good Omens, Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett's Good Omens, is getting a season 2 on Amazon on Prime Video. This is really cool. Do you know why, Lotus?
Well, yeah, didn't Good Omens season 1 just like cover the book?
Yes.
So this is just like a new adventure?
So season 2 is brand new content for Good Omens, which hasn't had content since the book came out. So hasn't had brand new content since the book came out, and that came out I think the late 90s or early 2000s, one of the two. And it is my favorite book. So getting more content from at least one of the creators is insanely awesome. And Neil Gaiman is the showrunner and also writing it, so you can't get better than that.
Yeah.
He's going to make sure it's good. He is busy right now. Like we just talked about, like the Sandman.
Yep.
And like he's also been working on like comics too during this. Like he is fucking busy. It's insane. He's probably my favorite comic book author of all time. Sandman is my favorite comic book series ever. So I'm really and Good Omens is my favorite book. So it's basically like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, but with Christianity instead of sci-fi, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's kind of like a similar take and similar tone. And Terry Pratchett was the co-author of that, and he was the author of the Discworld books, and he has since passed, unfortunately. But Neil Gaiman is still going strong, so I'm really looking forward to it. And the teaser image was very heartwarming. It's supposed to take place in Scotland. The first one took place in rural England, but yeah, it was really cool because it's just like it's a Aziraphale, and what's the name of the demon? Well, the angel and the demon standing under an umbrella together, like they're in love, which is what they are. They're an angel and a demon that fell in love with each other. So yeah, really awesome stuff, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do with it. And anything else for the good of the order there, Lotus?
No, I think I'm good.
All right. Well, I'm gonna stall for time and make you wait until I say the outro. I mean, that's the show for this week. Please remember to subscribe to the Corrective Consciousness YouTube and SoundCloud pages. While there, please give us thumbs up, likes, and 5-star ratings on iTunes. It helps promote and spread awareness of the show, and any bit of encouragement helps keep the show going. You can also catch us on Thursdays for our sister podcast, Corrective Consciousness, the podcast where we explore the inanity of pop culture. And we'll likely be we'll either be getting close to or finishing up our pre-MCU dive here for live action stuff from Marvel. And finally, you can friend me as vysethebold on pretty much anything.
And you can follow me on my YouTube channel, Lotus Prince. You can hit me up on Twitter at Lotus Prince. And finally, if you are interested in seeing my videos early, we're well on our way through Deadly Premonition. getting in on exclusive live streams. Vice, do you know what I've been streaming lately? Because this is a deep cut.
I saw it, but I forget. Please
So,
enlighten me.
a couple of weeks ago, I did, on Sega CD, Mansion of Hidden Souls.
Oh, man, yeah.
And last week...
Are you going to do the Saturn one, too?
Well, you beat me to it. Last week
man.
I did Saturn's The Mansion of Hidden Souls.
Oh, man. So what did you think of the Sega CD one?
Well, you showed me the Saturn one
Yeah.
years and years ago. So the Sega CD one definitely looked more primitive, but it was interesting. And one thing I was pleased to see, this is a rare thing to happen, so I like it when games do this, but when you play The Mansion of Hidden Souls on the Saturn, some new people have taken residence, so their rooms are different, but the general layout of the mansion is the same. So I just like... So you get to see the mansion, the Sega CD mansion, except it looks a little better, it moves a little more smoothly. It's like, nice. I love when games do that.
I thought there was some other...
Oh, there is. Oh,
okay, there is a third game. There's like a semi-related game.
The Mansion of Hidden Souls. But there is. I hope to try to see if I can get that to work. I actually own that game physically, but I can't play it physically because I have a Rhea in my Saturn.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I knew that there was like a third game kind of...
Yeah, the name of the game is nothing like Mansion of Hidden Souls. It's a completely different name, so it's not at all obvious that it's part of it.
Yeah, but I knew that there was something.
I want to see if I can get into that. And then finally, not finally, if you're interested in selecting upcoming games for me to Let's Play, like Deadly Premonition, and, wait for it, finally, getting in conversations with me and other patrons on Discord, then perhaps consider swinging by my Patreon account, which can be found at patreon.com/LotusPrince.
Okay, well, wonderful. We will catch everybody on Thursday then for more Marvel goodness.
Until next time, everyone.
Bye-bye.